Hey, my name is Matt. Welcome to Ranking Tactics. And in this video, I'm going to share with you an advanced marketing tactic that involves using artificial intelligence in a way that increases the likelihood of forming an emotional connection with your audience. Now, that was a mouthful, right? Oh, I'm going to show you a tactic to use artificial intelligence to write in a way that increases the likelihood of forming an emotional connection with your audience. So you probably still don't understand what I'm talking about, but let me demonstrate because this is very powerful and this is really cool. It all starts with this thing called brand archetype. You can go to Google and search it. There's all kinds of articles on it. What a brand archetype is, it's a representation of your brand as a persona based on 12 key human desires and values, such as safety, power, and belonging. The idea behind creating your archetype is to build a brand narrative and create an emotional connection with your target audience. So let's unpack this for a little bit. First of all, do you have a brand? Now, if you're an agency, the brand when you're writing is not your brand, not your agency's brand. It's the brand of your client. Okay, so you have all these different clients. You're going to be writing for their particular brand. Now, maybe you're just a solopreneur. You don't have clients. You don't want clients. You just have an affiliate marketing website. You better get a brand. And the reason is if you don't have a brand and all you're doing is just creating content, and whether that's human written content or AI content, you need to set yourself above the rest. Because if all you have is content and all they have is content, what's your unique selling proposition? You know, if you don't have one, nothing's going to bring that customer to you unless you have a brand, unless you form that emotional connection. Because when you form that emotional connection, you have a customer for life. That customer is always going to be coming back to you. When you get married, it's hard to separate that bond. You're essentially marrying your customer. Your company's marrying your customer, and it's hard to separate that. Another brand can't come along and steal that customer away because that customer is loyal to you. Okay, go ask. I live in Ohio. Okay, so everybody's into John Deere. Could I go to some farmer he has all this John Deere stuff and try to sell him another type of tractor? No, there's lots of other brands that are just, heaven forbid, I say just as good. But there are a lot of competing tractors that do a very good job also, just like John Deere. But trying to sell that person a competing tractor, it's not going to work. They're John Deere fanatics for life. And I personally own a John Deere. I like my John Deere. But think about Harley Davidson. Could you go to somebody that owns a Harley and try to sell them on a different brand of bike? They couldn't go to the Harley meetups anymore with a different brand of bike. I don't know. Is that outlawed or something? Can you do that? Can you go to a meetup for Harley Davidson and not have a Harley Davidson? I don't know. Have a different brand? Probably not. So building an emotional connection with your target audience is so critically important. Let's peel the onion some more and let's dive a little bit deeper. So there's a lot of different websites on this concept, but let's look at this one by Drip. This is pretty cool. Let's look at an example. So I like to say I snowboard a lot, but I don't. I'm in Ohio, so everything's flat for me. But I will occasionally go up north to Michigan and snowboard. I've signed up for the REI magazines. I have a lot of REI stuff. And when I get the magazines, all right, and if REI, they're like an outdoors company, I don't see images in the magazine and their advertising of people sitting in cubicles. All the people are like scaling mountains or jumping out of planes or snowboarding or skiing or something like that. They're outdoor and they're doing something. And usually the thing they're doing has a little bit of risk associated with it. So this Drip, they're saying that REI has the explorer personality. That's the brand archetype. So when REI advertises, they're advertising using the archetype of the explorer. So we go up here and we look at what that is. Seeks inspiration through taking risks, traveling the world, and discovering new experiences. Seen as trailblazers in their field. Yeah, that's probably true. Now contrast that with something else. The jester uses fun and humor and irreverence to spread joy and mischief. Is that REI? No, that's not REI. Let's think about something else. The lover forms sensual and spiritual and companionable relationships and creates intimate moments for their audience. That is not REI. Now that might be Dove. I don't know. Dove, the soap and the body wash, that might be Dove. Think about whatever your favorite brands are that you keep going back to, that you are married to. Where do they fit on here? What is the personality that speaks to you when you think about that particular brand? So how can we use this as we write? Now that's the big question. And why would we want to use this? Think about it this way. When you hang out with a group of people, you want to be speaking their language. And if the language that the Harley Davidson people speak is liberation and disrupting the status quo and things like that, and rebellion. If I go and talk in a way that, and I use language in a way that's sensual and spiritual and intimate and things like that, we're not going to see eye to eye. I'm not speaking their language. So this is where it's really cool, where we can invoke the AI to help with this. So this is ZimmWriter. If you don't have ZimmWriter, you need to get a copy. There's a link in the description below to a subscription for this, and then also a limited time lifetime deal, because I programmed all of this into ZimmWriter to do its best right now to write for that particular brand archetype. So it's going to write in a way that uses the language that the audience is used to, is accustomed to, speak to that personality. It's going to try its best to do that. So you can find this option in the SEO blog writer and also the bulk blog writer. So you click on one of these, you'll see this drop down called audience personality. And the thought process is, if the brand archetype, let's use the Harley Davidson example again, is outlaw, is rebellious and liberation and things like that. If I use those concepts in my writing, the audience probably shares that personality too, those thoughts. So we're going to write using an outlaw personality. Whereas if I was maybe talking about some Johnson & Johnson products for a baby, I might use the caregiver personality. And the caregiver personality, we go back over here, is wants people to feel protected and nurtured, compassionate and altruistic, the corporate equivalent of a big warm hug. So think about who your clients are, think about what your brand is, and then, do some research and then pick one that is appropriate to you. So all this is done for you in ZimmWriter. And this is like version 1.0. I'm going to continually improve it, but it works. It's pretty cool. And you can do this yourself if you want to, but you'll have to come up with your own prompts and whatnot. So getting the done for you solution out of ZimmWriter save you a lot of time. So I'm going to make all these available in the description below in a link to a Google Drive. And these are all the same article. And this was really hard to do. Let me show you an example. Innocent. Let's do that one. And people have different views on what the archetype represents. So the views that I programmed inside of ZimmWriter for the innocent personality is safety. And so this how to write a bike article, as you read it, it's going to talk about safety. We'll show you the basics of how to properly ride a bike, from choosing the right gear to understanding how to use the hand signals. We'll also go over some key safety tips that all cyclists should keep in mind before setting out on their journey. Okay, so there's a lot of safety concepts in here. Now, all of these articles are the same identical article. The only thing that I changed was the audience personality. So if we open up, let's say hero, I guess. So this is the exact same article. Choose the right bike, choose the right bike, adjust the bike, adjust the bike. The only thing I did was change the audience personality between these. And this is hard to explain, but the personality that you select is going to come across easier in certain types of articles. So I tried to select a very neutral article, how to ride a bike, so that the outlaw personality you can have an outlaw personality when you describe how to ride a bike. You can have a caregiver personality when you describe how to ride a bike. You can have a sage personality. And you'll notice some of these more visible in how to ride a bike. But if you were, for example, to write about how to care for a baby, and you wanted to have an outlaw personality, the AI is going to struggle with that. We'll still write the article. You're not going to notice much of a difference. So the appropriate time to use the audience personality, the selections in here, is in the appropriate situation. So if your audience really does have a caregiver personality, then use that. And that will give that slight boost, that slight subconscious boost, or at least try to, as the AI writes your article. I'm going to make all of these available in the description below in a link. You can compare them at your leisure. Some examples, and you can go back to this drip article and read. And what it says here is going to be a little bit different from what other people say too. Everybody's giving their own spin and interpretation on this. But you'll see some of these things come across more visibly than other ones. But this is a very powerful marketing tactic that you can use, and it adds a little bit more flavor to your article. It makes it a little bit more human and also helps form that emotional connection that already exists with your audience. You're speaking to that emotional connection. So really cool. I hope you get a lot of value out of this. Drop a comment down below and tell me what you think. This is pretty neat. Like the video if you liked it. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Also, join the official ZimmWriter Facebook group. A lot of great people in there. We're all talking about AI. It couldn't be a better group of people. And I think that's it. Hey, until next time, good luck with your content generation. I'll talk to you later.